That's it.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming on the rocket's red glare. The bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Color guard. Retire the colors. CTTC retired Patterson Full Slip will now deliver the invocation.
Come on. Bow your heads, please. Heavenly Father, we humbly and happily come before you, giving thanksgiving to you for safe travels, for all in attendance here today. We pray that you lead and guide us throughout this ceremony as we pay tribute to our friend, mentor, and brother, Master Chief C.Hill. We thank you for his 30 years of honorable service, Father. For when the call to service was made, he said, "Send me, I will go." We thank you, although that is the end of this chapter in his military career. We know that as your word states, he that started a good work in you is faithful to complete it. We pray this blessing in the mighty name of our Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Signpost, post. Will the guests please be seated? Welcome to the retirement ceremony in honor of Master Chief C.Hill. The ceremonies, customs, and traditions of today's Navy draw their origin from ancient customs and laws of the sea, which began in historic times by seafaring men. The retirement ceremony you will witness today is not prescribed by the United States Navy regulations, but rather it is a product of rich heritage of naval tradition. The strength of today's Navy stems in large measure from the observance of customs and traditions, each founded on need, each contributing its share to stability, combat effectiveness, and smooth transfer of authority and accountability. This modest ceremony recognized the distinguished career of Master Chief Hill. And is more than just a retirement, it reflects the dedication of free men and women serving our nation proudly. I would like to extend a special warm welcome to the Hill family, his wife Lisa, his children Jasmine and Kendall, his mother-in-law Elizabeth Leonard. I know each of you are vividly aware of the sacrifices that Caesar has made in his service to our country, and I speak for everyone when I say how pleased we are to have you here today. His son, eldest Kavan, is unable to be in attendance as he leads his way in the United States Army, currently stationed overseas in Okinawa, Japan. We are gathered this morning to witness the final stages of a very full and productive 30-year military career. We are also gathered to say thank you to a good shipmate. Thanks for your tour and many contributions, which in their own unique way have made the Navy a stronger and more capable force in our never-ending fight for peace in the troubled world. Thanks for your many dedicated hours and personal initiative that you have helped to make our Navy proud, professional organization that it is today. Thanks for being the type of leader that has endured the next generation of leaders and sailors are ready to meet the challenges of tomorrow. So our gathering today gives us the opportunity to wish you in every success that you look forward to new challenges and rewards. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce our officiating officer, Chief Warrant Officer Charles Gray, United States Navy. Booyah.
Good morning. Good morning. Master Chief Harris making me nervous over there. Voice. Good morning, Commander Williams, Commanding Officer, Commander Shayla, XO, Command Master Chief Brady, Fleet Master Chief Kemp, distinguished guests, family, friends, and shipmates, welcome to Master Chief Caesar Hill's retirement ceremony. Master Chief and I first met in 2009 when we were both assigned to Navy Information Operations Command, Georgia, in Fort Gordon, Georgia. Master Chief was the command fitness leader, and based on his physical stature and passion for working out, I'm sure you can imagine that he was always hurt for business because no one wanted to attend his physical fitness programs. Therefore, the command's overall physical fitness readiness was at its best with Master Chief Hill running the program. On occasion, he would see me and say, "You good, Warren? Your uniform is tightened up." And I would smile and reply, "I'm good, Master Chief." Master Chief Hill is also well known for his firm handshake, which would bring you to your knees at times. I prefer to just give him a hug, brotherly hug. Seriously, Master Chief Hill, thank you for inviting me to officiate over your retirement ceremony today. It's truly an honor and privilege to be here on this special day with you and your wonderful family. On behalf of the United States Navy, I would like to express to you how grateful we are for your faithful and dedicated service to our great Navy and great nation for these past 30 years. I extend a special welcome to Master Chief Hill's wife, Elisa, who he proudly refers to as wifey. His daughter, Jasmine, his sons, Kavan and Kendall. Alicia, on behalf of the entire Navy, I thank you for your perseverance and support for your husband throughout his Navy career. You are a great supporter, and the love you provided Master Chief Hill has been a godsend to not only his career, but also to the Navy. To Master Chief Hill's children, you are his greatest pride and joy. I know he enjoys seeing you all achieve great success. You have a bright future if you follow in his footsteps of superior initiative and hard, dedicated work ethic. We're also honored to have with us from Waycross, Georgia, Master Chief Hill's mother-in-law, Elizabeth. And his aunts and uncles are here as well. Although she's not here in person, but surely here in spirit and smiling down upon us from heaven, I'd like to recognize Master Chief Hill's mother, Dolores Tucker, whom passed away in February of 2018. The Navy gained a superstar when your son joined the Navy in 1989. Although the Navy instilled in him a love for our core values of honor, courage, and commitment, it's clear to me that he came to us with a strong value system in place. So we thank Mr. Lewis for raising such a fine son. We are proud of Master Chief Hill's accomplishments, as I know you are too. You all have provided the solid foundation that enabled him to have a successful career in the Navy. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming and thanking Master Chief Hill's family. It is with great pride and honor that we gather to celebrate a sailor who has dedicated 30 years of his life to his country and the United States Navy and to the men and women who serve in it. A true role model and leader, Master Chief Hill has led, mentored, guided, and trained the future of the Navy with spectacular results. Master Chief Hill has enjoyed a distinguished and impressive career from October '89 to present in a variety of assignments. A superb radioman and now information system technician, he has served at sea on board USS Orland, USS Dale, and USS Harry S. Truman, where he completed multiple long deployments. Ashore, he has served at Nick Tams Land Norfolk, Diego Garcia, Joint Communications Unit, Navy Recruiting Command, Navy Information Operations Command Georgia, NATO Training Mission in Afghanistan, NPC, Middleton, Tennessee, as the Senior IT Detailer, where we served together again, NCTS Bahrain, and presently here at Afloat Training Group, Mayport. Master Chief Hill pinned on the gold anchors of a Chief Petty Officer in September 2005, and subsequently promoted to Senior Chief 2009 and Master Chief in 2013. He has consistently demonstrated all the high qualities of what it means to be the Chief. He has a record of excellence and leadership that speak for itself. To complement his numerous personal service medals, just take a look at his warfare qualifications. Surface warfare, aviation warfare, information warfare, naval air crewman warfare, parachute jump. Wow. Jumping out of a perfectly good plane. And while he was serving in harm's way, he still managed to earn his Bachelor's of Business Administration degree on his own time, setting the example for his shipmates to follow. Superior enlisted leadership is essential to success in our Navy. Their wisdom, their counsel, their experience, and their honesty help put issues into perspective. Master Chief Hill has been a trusted counselor, a close friend, and more importantly, a man who tells the straightforward truth whenever he speaks. Master Chief Hill, you have done an incredible job taking care of sailors, and you can be proud of all that you have accomplished throughout your 30-year career. On this day, as you begin your transition, take a moment to reflect back on all those you have so tirelessly and unselfishly helped to achieve their goals, both professional and personal, and the opportunity to witness their resounding success due largely in part because of your influence. While you leave our ranks today in the Navy, I know you will remain a certain counsel and reliable friend to us all in the years to come that will ensure that our Navy and our nation not only perseveres, but prevails. Fair winds and following seas to this remarkable family. Master Chief Hill, thank you again for your 30 years of distinguished service to the United States Navy and a grateful nation. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a rousing applause for a tremendous leader and Master Chief, Caesar Hill.
Thank you, Chief Warrant Officer Grady, for those inspirational words. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce our guest speaker for today's ceremony, Fleet Command Master Chief Raymond King, United States Navy.
Good morning. let me help you. Look to your left and look to your right and say good morning. Good morning. Okay. We are all here together and it is a celebration. You know, every now and then as a shipmate, as someone who wore the uniform, I see someone leave and I think, man, for real? I'm here by myself now? But now that I'm retired, brother, come on, let me show you how it's done. We'll have a good old time. The work has been done. The seeds have been sown. There shall be a harvest later. But as for now, we gonna go and do something else, if that's all right, Pastor. I bring you salutations and greetings from Virginia Beach, Virginia, where a strong contingent of brethren and sisters, a large contingent of former shipmates and those we would consider to be family, are also bidding good tidings to his queen. I bid you greetings from those of us who understand the struggle. To you, please understand and know the most honorable thing I can do is just be in your presence, and it will always be on one knee. So I appreciate what you have done and who you have been, not only to the man that we are here to celebrate, but through him to all of us, I thank you. Special greetings to Miss Elizabeth Leonard, special greetings to Jasmine, special greetings to my brother Kendall with the super firm handshake, special greetings to Dolores and to Al and to Bernice and to Yosmin. I appreciate your presence and I think we should, Yasmin, I don't want to mess up nobody's name, but it's important I think that we recognize those who are making things happen in an event where we may not necessarily see it all. There's always something happening beyond our natural eye. And you know, let me just tell you to the family, it's kind of difficult to explain how big of a deal that SEAS is. It's kind of difficult to explain to someone who hasn't spent the last 30 years walking on water. It's kind of hard to explain how big a deal he is, but hopefully as we make our way through this process, you can understand how important your husband and your father and your son-in-law and your nephew, you understand your cousin and them, realize how big of a deal that he is. Just by the collection of Navy legends that are here in this room right now. That is just, and will be with us later on tonight at the reception, that's just a glimpse of how important he is to the world's finest Navy. My brother, I totally appreciate the fact that we're even having this ceremony. Many of our customs and traditions have been given back to the sea. Many of our customs and traditions, to those of you who are in uniform, have been given back to sea, and it's incumbent upon you now, incumbent upon you to ensure that we still stop, drop anchor, and spend time recognizing a hero and someone who has spent time with us, someone that we would certainly call a brother. For many different reasons, though, we've let some things go, some things that we just don't say anymore, and some things that we don't really do anymore. Look, I became a shellback in 1988. So for the civilians, there's a Navy tradition that goes back to the days of Vikings, that if you're only going out to sea a certain distance, you're not really a sailor. If you're not walking on blue water, you're not really a sailor. If you haven't gone beyond, the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn, you're not for real. A sailor. You're not a show-enough, bus-show sailor until you have crossed the equator.
Yes, sir.
And there, in days gone by, a measure of initiation, the old definition of initiation, that we used to do, we don't do that anymore, thank goodness. I was a chief before I became anything else deeply in my heart, and I went through chief's initiation when it was initiation. So I see a few graybeards out there who remember exactly what I'm talking about, and things were very different. Thank goodness we don't do those things no more. But I am absolutely pleased and proud to have the honor and the opportunity to participate in this. When he asked me a number of months ago if I was going to be able to come, I said, I'll be retired. So I ain't wearing no, I'm coming. There was no uniform even in the conversation. Because I think the thing almost done. But truly, it is a pleasure and an honor to be here as I get into my notes. Now, depending on when you met him, and depending on how you met him, depending on where you met him, depending on what y'all was doing, depending on where you've been together, especially if there was any measure of PT involved, all those things may play a part in what you call him. So, what name that he is known to you as? Now coming from where I'm from, you earn nicknames. So some of y'all might call him Flex. Some of y'all might call him Seeds. That's Big Seeds. Some of y'all might know him as the bald-headed assassin, Mr. Hard Work. Hard work. Yeah, he's a cadence stiller. Maybe know him. Some of y'all might know him as Mr. Cheeseburger. I like mine with lettuce and tomato, 157 and French fried potatoes. So some of y'all might know him as Mr. Hoo-Yah or Big Brother Almighty, depending on where you met him. But I tell you what, no matter what name or which name that you call him, I assure you that it was earned. And no matter what you call him, I assure you that he inspired you. Whether he used the words, those 10 two-letter words that will make you a better man, make you a better woman, whether he used those 10 two-letter words that will absolutely make you a better leader. You know those words, if it is to be, it is up to me. Whether he used those words or not, he inspired you to look inside yourself and to become better. Let me hear you say that, better. Better. I didn't mean to say it, better. Better. Yeah, so just from being in his presence and observing his actions, you realize that you have become better. Woo. All right, now let me get to my assignment. Like for real, I haven't even got started yet. I got one job. Kemp, what you doing? One job, and that is to make sure I don't mess up church's money and celebrate, the time that we spend here together. From my perspective, we have retirement ceremonies for 3 reasons: for the family, for the crew, who's left, and then lastly and leastly for the member. That's interesting, right? The family, because you have sacrificed so much to allow him to be here with us. To the crew, because now you're accountable for your interactions with him. And by the way, you still got a job to do. And then to him, well, he's been with himself the whole time. So he's been with himself the whole life. So it's least of all for him, because he knows the story. We're here just to celebrate it. To the family, the making of a man begins early. The effort that goes into pouring into a boy that which is needed for him to become a man. The planting of seeds of manhood, the hard work, the diligence, the commitment, the strength, and honor. This effort is common, but it's not free. And there is a time for sowing and a time for reaping. And when it's done right, the parents and that environment, say that, the environment. The parents and the environment are the ones who really lean in and mold all those things together. See, when the transfer of authority from family to that boy, that is unto him, takes place, we the world get a man. When it's done right, we the world get a man, someone that we can lean on when we're not strong. I'll be your friend and I'll help you to carry on. It's important that we realize that we have received that iron sharpens iron type of a man. And I encourage you to use that language, that phrase advisedly, because it's not always present when iron is banging against iron. That's how that works, right? It's not like iron rubs against another, without any friction. There's some banging. Sometimes there's some heat involved with that iron sharpening iron. So I admonish you, I encourage you to be careful how you actually use that language. Because every now and then you might bang up against a weaker type of creature who may not be able to handle it. Woo. Well, you get that when you go home. The fact of the matter is that there may be an occasion where there is a high level of discomfort, but let me assure you that when you are sharp, you'll be thankful. But it's not a free ride, don't forget that. It's good when we get a man who's a truth teller and a promise keeper, someone who is steady. Rock steady. It is special when we have someone that we can trust in. We should be able to celebrate. In fact, the world should be celebrating men more often. The fact that they're men standing in their calling, aligned with the plumb line, walking in an upright fashion in a way that they ought to walk. We should be celebrating them. And so I'll tell you right now, I'm pleased to be here because I know without question that my brother is trustworthy, a known good and reliable man. In fact, I've been putting my weight up against him since 2012 with a high level of confidence and always starting with the yes. And iron sharpens iron type of man. I recognized him, I'm going to tell you, from the beginning because that handshake is just real. And when I received it, you get that language right, when I received that handshake, there was a measure of inherent trust deeply embedded in the energy that went into it. And so I encourage you, men, you got that soft handshake, work on that. So push up and something. Because a lot is told about you in the handshake, but you got to walk that walk. Because just because you show up right don't necessarily mean you're right. To the Queen, once again, I plead with you to seek to always encourage, to strengthen and to advise and to exhort and to honor and to add value and to be a beautiful flower as well as a fierce angel to your king. Exhorting him when necessary. And brother, that means you have to have a listening ear. Speak life, my sister, abundant life, and ye shall both have it. Realizing and remembering that generosity and gratitude breed grace. And after today, he's all yours. Now to the crew, I'm going to tell you something that you already know. Just to reaffirm, I am a over-speaker of the obvious, and that's one of the perks of being retired. You get to hear it. That over-speaking of the obvious, so I'm just here to remind, that's a long way of saying it, that's a short way of saying it, I'm just here to remind you of some things. In leadership and in life, there are times when it's going to be hard. Say that, hard. Hard. There's times when it's going to be hard, and in those times, it's crucial that we are able to trust in our knowledge. Someone once said that knowledge breeds power, and I just disagree with that. Knowledge breeds a high level of preparation, but preparation is really nothing until you activate. But when times get hard, it's important that you study to show thine own self approved, that you are read and prepared within your particular job, within your particular rate. And so in times of struggle, when times get hard, there's an opportunity for you to lean on that knowledge. There's an opportunity for you to lean on your own creativity and also operate freely in our innovation. And to use the full measure of the team to rise above and conquer those difficult times. Let me say lead. Lead. Out of your mouth, say lead. Lead. Yeah, just lead. It gets hard, lead. You know what to do. You've been trained. We spend a lot of time and money, Captain. A lot of time and money, XO, CMC, training folk to get right. So it's important that when those troubled times come, that you just go ahead and lean on that wisdom. Think on the advice and wise counsel that you got from Seeds, and then live that out. Consider the time that you spent maybe on the watch floor in the hangar bay, out on a run. Well, if you're running with him, ain't gonna be no talk because he's running too fast. But out on a run, sitting on the sidelines, waiting on your run at the basketball court, wherever it was, realizing that he was an impact on your very own perspective, and he was visioneering with you right during those times. Now, by the way, is the time to live that out. Now is the time to live that out. Study, have patience, have a listening ear, have faith that all that you put your hands to shall be successful. Use your resources, acknowledge challenges, and then take them over. Our MCPO, Master Chief of the Navy, Mike Stevens, when he first took office, he said something, I'm going to just paraphrase it because I don't talk like him. He said, show us hard and watch us work. He said, show us hard and watch us work. And this was his intention to refer to the innate ability of the Chief Petty Officer. But I'll tell you right now, man or woman, person, in uniform, out of uniform, civilian, retired, active duty, whatever the case may be, I assure you that if you take actions and lead when it's time to lead, things will work out in your favor. Let me say lead. Lead. Yeah, go ahead and lead like C's led. Be focused like C's was. Focused. Prioritize and impact lives like C's has. And all shall continue to be successful. And you will continue to make sure that this is the world's finest Navy, one that you will leave better, in a better condition than what you got. Now, as I rush to my close, C's, I'll just tell you right now, it was in the late 60s, early 70s that Sammy Davis Jr., put some words together, made him kind of famous and popular. And depending on your music listening genre, perhaps you heard Shirley MacLaine sing the song, If My Friends Could See Me Now. If my friends could, what would they do if your friends, right, even them folks you started the Navy with could see you now, 30 years later? Oh, what a sight it would be. Who would have thunk it? Right around 2013, there's this Canadian poet by the name of Aubrey Graham, who put some poetry together and said, we started from the bottom, and now we're here. Started from the bottom, now we're here. I mean, so it's important, that we take the time, and realize, that same poet got with some other poets back around 2015 and 16, and they also said something that we have been watching you do, and that is walk it like you talk it. And so it's important that we live these things out. I truly believe, though, that if the Chief's Mess had a theme song, it would be Lean on Me. I truly believe that if the Chief's Mess had a theme song, it would be Lean on Me. Anybody know that song, Lean on Me? Couple nods, but no hands, okay. Interesting. 2 hands, 3, we got 4, all right, 5, waving, 6. I truly believe that if we had a song, it would be Lean on Me. Not just because it was written by a sailor, but it is truly that which separates us from other nations' navies. The language that confirms or affirms our commitment to one another's success. You can call on me, brother, when you need a hand, because we all need somebody to lean on. Lastly, back to the family, we are relinquishing him back to you. Thank you for all you have done in support. We shall be here always for him and, by the way, for you, in the event that you, too, need somebody to lean on. Peace be with you. God bless you, and God bless the United States Navy.
Thank you, Chief. It's always a pleasure to hear your words of wisdom. Master Chief Hill.